What's up, guys? Pop culture person here. Today, I want to talk about wrestling, and not only wrestling, but the crowd specifically, and how, due to the pandemic, the crowds have changed. And I just want to show 3 different companies, and how these 3 companies, Impact, AEW, and WWE, have adjusted their crowds to the situation that's going on, and what I like about them, what I don't like about them. I understand that different states and where they're at have different requirements and all of that. But this is just my opinion on what I like seeing and what I think about each crowd. So, figured we can just watch along and then I can explain to you what I like and what I don't like. So, here I have a clip from Impact Wrestling. Just a match from yesterday at the time of me recording this. So we're just gonna take a look at here and see what's going on. So there's nobody in the crowd, and there's a pro, because that is very safe. That's a pro. It's very safe. There's no one in the crowd, so no one to get sick. But visually, there's nothing at all there, and that's a con. It's really not enticing, and it also makes it feel less big, less important, seeing that there's no one in there. Now, they have crowd noise, which I think is people watching the show, and then they're putting a noise in there as the show's going on. I like that there's noise there, because it makes it feel a little more professional that there's noise there. Because before they weren't doing it with any noise, and I wasn't really a big fan of that. But overall, I'm not the biggest fan of how this is set up. They have improved it because they added some crowd noise. And it's there, but it just kind of seems as if they had a match and they said, let's put some crowd noise in there after the fact. Overall, it's honestly my least favorite of the 3. But there's room for improvement, and it is a very safe way of doing things. Now here, they went for the virtual fan. They got the big LED lights around the arena, and you can see the fans there. I think this is a pretty good way of doing things. This feels exactly the opposite of Impact. This, because it's in an arena and they have the LED lights and everything, it feels bigger. It feels more impactful. Impact. And anyways, I didn't do that on purpose, I swear.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
But there's just a level to sports and of importance that was missing, especially when, like, pandemic first hit and there was nobody at all, that this helps bring back. Now, I don't like big the squares are on the people. I think if they adjusted them just a little bit smaller, I would enjoy that more. Just a little nitpick of mine. Also, again with the crowd noise, doing this way is cool because you're getting live reactions of things and you can see their face. But there is a missing element of the crowd coming together. Crowds usually come together and they start chanting like the whole crowd will chant like "you suck" or "this is awesome" or something. And have you can't really get that with the way this is set up, which is a downer. But overall, this is a pretty good way of doing things, and it is safe because, again, there's no one there physically, but everyone can enjoy at home. Actually, honestly, looking at this now, I'm liking it more than I have given it credit for at first. This is a really good way of doing things. So yeah, pretty good effort. I like it. Here we have a match from AEW, and as you can see, there are people in the crowds, whereas there is a level of this may not be safe. You can see some of them wear masks and everything, so on the safety level, it is the most risky one because of the fact that people are there. But where that lacks in safety, it makes up for. Well, again, I'm talking about my opinion of watching this. Where it lacks in safety, the crowd can come together because of the fact that they're all there, so they can kind of do the chants like I said earlier, all together and stuff like that. So that's a plus. So on the front was only all the wrestlers. At first it was a little jarring because it's like, why would the wrestlers be in the crowds? But having them ringside makes a big difference, I feel. I think without it, this setup would be a lot worse. Because there are fans in the stands in the back, and they're all socially distanced, got the mask on and all that. But a majority of what you're going to see is by the ring. So even though they are just other wrestlers that work there, it is a great way of using them by having them come out and just sitting and enjoying the show. I think that's a pretty good idea, all in all. And also, it makes for some interesting scenarios. Like, two people will have a match, and then the one guy in the match will be beefing with someone who's on the ringside. So then if, like, these were talking about crowds, I wanted to bring this up. This is a clip from Sting's debut in AEW. And I think this clip specifically, you can see the people in the crowd, that they're in the back and everything. And while this doesn't have the biggest, the feel of the event isn't as big as you would say the WWE one, because the WWE one, it looks like a packed stadium, or at least as close to what a packed looking stadium could be with the lights and everything. It still is a lot more impactful. I did it again, Jesus. It is still more impactful than the Impact one, because there are people there, you can see their reactions. It is a live reaction, and it makes a big difference. I do want to get back to one thing though, because they are socially distanced, where you can have people there as a plus, a live and that live factor, the reaction where people can come together and make chants and all that, you hinder the big important feeling. I've always said, if someone in 2019 showed me pictures of the AEW crowd in 2020, I would think, what's going on? How bad has the show gotten that they can only fill this many seats? It looks like a show that not that many people want to go to. I understand it's just pandemic, socially distanced. You can't fill it that big. But it still loses a little bit of that important, like, oh, this is a big factor. One last thing I want to talk about when it comes to AEW is a moment like this that you're seeing with Sting doesn't work as well in the other two companies. They see the name, the whole arena, all in unison, come together at the exact same time, start screaming. You see their reactions very clearly because they're there. You see them jumping up and down, screaming, throwing their fist in the air, all of that. You even see the people in the arena, ringside, the wrestlers, also getting excited. That is a level of excitement that makes this feel a lot more impact. There's a level of excitement that feels very big. And if you try doing this with the screens, which I feel like the Royal Rumble's coming up, it's known for a lot of surprise entrants and all of that. You do it with the screens, I don't think it has that same level of wow as this would, whereas the people are in person. With that in mind, that's about everything I had to say about the three different crowds. Now that we've looked at all three of the companies, I just want to take a moment to give final thoughts and a ranking order of which goes where. Impact Wrestling, absolutely bottom of the list. There's no fans, there's no virtual thing, there's nothing there that really catches the eye, makes it feel kind of important. Where there is crowd noise now, which is good, I don't think just the crowd noise is enough for it to be better than these two. Absolutely not. While it is very safe, and I commend them for that great job on the safety, I guess, because there's no one there, you know. You're gonna rank low if you have no crowd, which they don't. So, Impact, bottom of the list. Now, comparing WWE and AEW, a lot harder than I originally thought this was gonna go. Originally, I figured AEW had this without a doubt, but looking back at the crowd in this clip of Monday Night Raw, it has that big it has that big fight feel, for the lack of a better term. The scope of it all, and the stage set and everything. It's really something that only Monday Night Raw could do. It just feels super important, even though there's no one there. I feel like I'm watching a major sport, per se. As someone who doesn't really watch sports, I feel like this is an important sporting event because of all the faces you're seeing, even though they're all virtual. Now, this lacks in the noise department because I don't know if it's just because it's fake audio, or not fake audio, because it's virtual audio. I feel like it's not genuine, or if it's just because it doesn't feel it. To me, it just doesn't feel as genuine. Now, whereas AEW has that because people are there, they lack the scope of it all because they can only put so many people in the seats, and also because the ringside area is just other wrestlers, where I don't have to question whether the sounds or what I'm hearing is genuine, or they can put a big chant together like "You Still Got It," or "This match is awesome," or something like that. This is awesome. Whereas they have that in their favor. A big scope feel is not there. I don't know if I said this earlier, but I always said, if in 2019 you showed me a 2020 crowd shot of AEW, I would think, what went wrong? Why is no one going to these shows anymore? Did it become that bad? You show me a clip of Monday Night Raw now, I'm not thinking, why did the show get so bad? I'm just thinking, why aren't they there? Why did they do this thing? You know, I'm still debating this, to be honest. If you guys could tell me which ones you like the best in the comments, I'd appreciate that, honestly. I don't know, maybe you see something in the Impact crowd that I don't, something in the way they have that set up where you think that's way better than the other two. Maybe you like the AEW one because of, like me, the genuine crowd reactions or whatever. Maybe like the WWE one because of the big scope. So really, I'm debating on big scope or genuine reaction. And I think I'm going to go with WWE being at 2 and AEW being at the top when it comes to the crowds recently. Because although having that big scope is very important, I would rather lose a bit of scope. Because AEW, let's not kid ourselves. They're in an arena. They have a big fancy Titantron and they have pyro and all of that. They're not missing out on anything. They have scope, just not as much. So I'd rather lose a bit of scope and big fight feel for a more genuine reaction, even though it might be a quieter reaction, because where they have the big screen and they could pipe that speaker as loud as they want, AEW can't do that. They're in an open arena, so already the sound kind of travels upward, and then there's not as many people. I would have to go with AEW on this one. But again, let me know in the comments which one you guys like more. I feel like it's really WWE AEW, which people would like more. I think the comments are gonna lean towards WWE more. I could be wrong though, but we'll just have to. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. So that's all. I just wanted to make a video about the crowds and all that. Wanted to just have a little debate about this. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, like, comment, share, all that. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, guys. It means a lot. You know, I'm just sitting here just making some silly YouTube videos on my free time. I hope I entertained you. And as always, have a wonderful day.